In half an hour, the West Tonight update. This is HTV.
From ITN, News at 10 with Trevor McDonald.
The Nationwide says no to a windfall. Childminder jailed for killing baby in her care. A loan to learn, no more free higher education. And thousands evacuated in Germany as flood defenses collapse. Good evening. Members of the Nationwide Building Society voted overwhelmingly today not to give themselves windfall payments of more than £1,000 each. By a margin of nearly 3 to 1, they rejected 5 candidates for the board who said they would convert it to a bank. The Building Societies Association called it a vote of confidence in mutual societies. The Prime Minister said he too believed it was the right decision. Tonight, the Governor of the Bank of England, Eddie George, said the windfalls already picked up from converting building societies had proved a shock to the stability of the economy and could stoke inflation. Here's our economics editor, Mark Webster.
Relieved smiles at Nationwide could signal the end of what's been called a feeding frenzy by those trying to pick the next target for conversion. If the Nationwide's members had voted to become a bank, it could have sounded the death knell of building societies and injected billions more into high street spending.
I'm quite convinced that the reason inflation has been taking off is because of a lot of those windfalls going into the economy. Clearly, by slowing down those sort of pressures, this should have a beneficial effect, a stabilising effect, and that's, again, got to be good for everybody.
It's not good for Michael Hardan, the freelance butler who's orchestrated the campaign to force the Nationwide to become a bank.
Total amazement. I rather expected to be a director of the Nationwide by now.
The Nationwide had prepared for around 1,000 of its members to turn up for tomorrow's annual general meeting. Given today's result, there'll probably only be a fraction of that. And what's more, the society's bosses are confident that after more than 200 years of building societies in this country, the 70 or so remaining societies could be around for another 200 years yet. By contrast, the crowds out today in Britain's high streets reflect the fact that billions of pounds are being spent from previous windfalls. The latest figures on retail spending show a mini-boom, likely to result in even higher interest rates.
Exporters are now beginning to feel the squeeze of the strength of the pound. It's really beginning to hurt. We've seen a significant downturn in export orders, and particularly for smaller businesses, the export orders have really fallen away very dramatically.
But the man who chairs the committee which decides Britain's interest rates emphasised again today his worries about the impact of building society windfalls. Eddie George says it wasn't clear how much would be spent, but it could contribute to higher inflation. So the signs are from the Bank of England tonight that another rise in interest rates is on the way. Mark Webster, News at 10, The City.
A registered childminder was found guilty today of the manslaughter of a 4-month-old baby girl in her care. Angela Lee, aged 46 and the mother of 2 children of her own, was said to have lost her temper with Danielle Firth and fractured her skull. She was jailed for 5 years. Our North of England correspondent Ben McCarthy reports.
The registered childminder Angela Lee, until now on bail.
That's it. Good night.
The HTV 7-day weather line, 0336 41 40 40. HTV weather, sponsored by Stay Bright Windows, the clear choice in any weather.